What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with a new video. Time to put a bow on the whole transfer window, summer transfer window. It's over. We're done. It's time to just talk about it, give our pros, give our cons, and then obviously give our rating at the end. Before I get into it, of course, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Thank you to Karen Curtin, John Abbott, and Stephen Short for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. And thank you to Mike Williams, who is a new member of the channel. Big up and thank you for the support. Memberships are in the description if you want to support me and the channel that way. It means a lot. Now, William, I can see your super chat already. You've got your score in there. But don't want your scores just yet, people. Don't shoot your load too quickly. Let's talk about the ins, the outs, the scenarios, and everything else in between. Now, what I want to say in my rating, and everyone's rating will be different, okay? Don't take any rating as ridiculous, harsh, or anything else like that. Everyone has their own criteria for rating the window. I'll make my reasons very clear as to why I come to my rating, as I'm sure you will too. But I have my reasons why I have a rating in mind, but it will all be explained. You shouldn't have any confusion. Listen, let me shout out to the chat here. Come on now. Bob's afternoon to you. Jack, hello. Allison, hello to you too. A lot of you just shooting out your load straight away, man. You might even change your mind by the end of the stream. You know what I mean? I don't envision this being very long, but I think the reasoning is probably going to be the most meaty of the content. Richard here saying if we don't address key positions, well, I mean it's done, which has been the case for many window, then the window has to be a disappointment despite bringing in some quality. And easy to render, and hello to Karen. Yeah, so I've got LUFC Data's transfer thing here, and listen, big shout out to LUFC Data who puts all this stuff together. It makes it very easy to collate and read off. So he's a good source. Always go and check him out on Twitter or his website for any data needs that you want. He'll have prop for your favorite players too. So if you ever need some stats that go in favor of your favorite players, he will have it. He will have all of that. So shout out to him. And yeah, render. Look, there's still some free agents out there, but obviously we're talking about the window being closed. If we can sign some players for free that are out there, I don't know any that are out there that are worth signing, to be fair. I mean, Danny Rose is free. Anyone want him? But yes, I know there's free agents, but we have to address it for what the window was, and especially the last day. So yeah, listen, people, shall we get into it? Let's get into it, yeah. Right. So here we are. This was pretty much the start, and we've got the transfers out here. Yeah. So we got Adam Forshaw at the bottom here, who was obviously released along with Joel Robles. They're gone. And for me, that's a plus. So not with so much with Joel Robles. I wouldn't mind him staying around, but Adam Forshaw not being offered a deal, even at the fans begging and saying we need a Forshaw in the team. That's a plus for me that we didn't retain him. Good to see him gone. Couple windows, a couple years overdue, but that's a plus for me. I don't think it's going to be long, Demar. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just talk. We'll just talk and see how we go. Obviously, Stuart McKinstry left. As you can see, though, in the column here, right here where the arrow is, there's not many transfer fees. Okay, and that is where I give the 49ers and Daniel Farker a lot of props, because this is no transfer window like any other. Whereas Leicester were bringing in near 70, 80 million for Madison and Harvey Barnes combined. Southampton getting in 30 for Ward-Prowse, 50 plus for Lavia, 20 plus for Nathan Teller, where we were struggling to sell players due to the previous ownership's absolute ridiculousness of loan clauses. Something that Daniel Farker hadn't heard of, I hadn't heard of, and even the Peterborough chairman, Darren McAnthony, had never heard of relegation loan clauses before. We just obviously, have to buck the trend being Leeds United, and that's just what we do. So that does come into my rating as well, the difficulty of not being able to raise funds naturally. And as you can see by the dates, by the way, it was a race out the door for the loan guys. You had Robin Koch. Llorente wasn't really part of the plan, so understandable. But then you had Brendan Aronson. Rodrigo was one where we did actually have a release clause there, which was good. But it was 3 million. And I always say relegation release clauses are a normal thing where you have a set fee. It's going to be lower than their actual worth because it just makes it easier for the player to move, you to move out that wage as well. That's normal. That's fine. But Rodrigo, top scorer last season, is probably definitely his best season. Yeah, Livramento too for Newcastle, 100%, 40 million for him, by the way. But Rodrigo, 3 million release clause at the age he was. Understandable, possibly being 32. I would have liked to have seen it possibly at 5 or 6, but it is what it is. You know, we did not have the best owners at all. Um, so yeah, so there we are. We got one fee there for Rodrigo, 500,000 for Tyler Roberts, who finally he's gone. So that's good permanently. But you look at these, look at this here. I don't know who Owen Bray is. Never heard of him, I gotta say. But you know, we got Mark Rucker who's gone on a loan. Rasmus gone. Some would say, thank God. Max Verber, after saying, "Yeah, I want to fight and stay," you know, he's gone out on loan too. Jack Harrison made sure that before that end date expired, he was gone. Even though he could be, you know, he's injured, he's out injured. Absolute calamity of outgoings there for no fees. Now I've got to say I'm happy that a lot of those players are gone. No problem at all with those players going and being out of the team. I just wish that we got some transfer fees, but obviously legally we just couldn't do it. And yeah, Richard, exactly. Yeah, forgot some of those names already. 100%. It's not that deep. It's just that the situation of not getting in money for them is the worst thing about it. We get some money finally. Tyler Adams, after almost another legal situation where he believes that he should have been able to go. Bournemouth also believe that they activated a clause before the time had run out. They then reach a compromise with Leeds to say, okay, we'll pay you this much plus a million in add-ons, and that's where we get the fee for Tyler Adams. So along with Rodrigo, we finally bring in some decent money. Um, and here we are now, and these are the last couple. Sonny Perkins was I think the writing was on the wall for Sonny in terms of how it's gone with Daniel Farker. All we've heard with Daniel Farker and Sonny Perkins is that he hasn't done enough in training. Probably, even though you saw the team sheet against Birmingham City, he should have been in that team, right? But he hadn't done enough in the week for whatever it is. He hadn't impressed Daniel Farker enough. Now he sees himself on loan at Oxford United, where both he and who else was it in that video? Who else was it in the video that was it was him. Oh no, JB's still here. Okay, JB stays. Of course, he was touted to move. He stayed, but all the people that were featured in our kit videos, new kit videos, aren't even main players. Mateo Joseph has got the ability to do so, but it's quite funny. Usually in the kit campaigns, they use the main players or people that they see relying on going forward. But it is what it is. Sonny Perkins hasn't fit. He's gone out on loan, and good luck to him. Then you've got Sam Greenwood, who went out on loan. No issues with that. Cody Drame it was obviously never going to work. And it's interesting with Cody, by the way. We've been talking about him and hearing about him not being fully fit and everything, but he played for Birmingham from the start yesterday. In yesterday's game, he's thrown straight in at right back. So you just wonder, was it just a case of him not being tactically correct for Leeds United? Maybe it is the case that Leeds United is just completely different from playing for Luton and Cardiff, which we know it is. And Daniel Farker did kind of allude to that as well. But you can kind of see now Cody Drame isn't going to come back to Leeds United. And you know what? I wish him the best. And then, of course, we get to Luis Sinistera, which is the deadline day debacle. I need to sit for this one. Now, this is where the window kind of goes sour for me, and I'm only basing it on what was said when we went past that loan clause deadline. You know, when Jack Harrison scurried out the door, eventually Tyler Adams left on the transfer fee. But when we got to the point of Luis Sinistera, We had heard from Daniel Farker. Maybe he shouldn't have said it, but he said that we were in the driving seat again. He actually said that in a press conference. So there you're thinking, okay, if Sinistera is to go, because I remember the stream a day before saying that this is a big 24 hours for Luis Sinistera. I'm thinking, this isn't me in my head. Okay, if Sinistera is to go, I wonder how much we're going to get. Because if we're rejecting 35 for Nanto, I wonder how much the 49ers want for Luis Sinistera. And you're thinking, okay, if he is to go, who's going to replace him? Are we going to get Matt O'Reilly in? Are we going to get Chair in? Are we going to get another winger, not of the same quality of Sinistera, because that's impossible at this level? But are we going to get somebody who's going to replace him? But let's just see what happens. Then it comes to the day. Then it comes to the day of the transfer deadline day, and they get that news from Mike McGrath, then Fabrizio confirming it. It's like, no, no way. Alone? How has this happened? Alone? We were in the driving seat. What happened to the driver's seat? Did they take out the seat? What happened there? And and then you're waiting for hours. And then you see from the Bournemouth end, the reporters from their end, you're hearing all the Leeds journals saying nothing's been agreed. But meanwhile, at the Bournemouth end, they're saying he's already in London for his medical. He's where the Bournemouth team are for the Brentford game. He's having his medical right now. So it was a case of, right, so we know he's going to be going. Who are we going to replace him with? That's all I care about. And the Sinistera thing wouldn't have been so bad if we had got money for him. I could understand that. If we had sold him and not got a replacement and it was a 35, 40 million fee, whatever it may be, then you can go, all right, fair enough. We can't stand in his way. Leeds will probably agree with Luis Sinistera. If we get this much for you, we'll sell you. No problem. I can understand that. But the fact it was a loan, oh, no, not good for me. And it just soured the whole window. And as much as I don't blame the 49ers for that, they can't help that. They didn't want to go through another legal battle with another player like we've lost already with JKA and Leipzig. They should have had a contingency plan in place. That's the only thing that knocks it down for me. They didn't have a contingency plan in place. And then we're hearing on the final hours of the window from reporters down at other clubs. Okay, they've put in a 6 million bid for Ilias Chair, but QPR are saying, well, sorry, lads, it's too late. We can't get a replacement. And you know what? We actually like championship football, so we'll keep him. We'll keep him for now. So we were far too late. We weren't proactive. We were being reactive. And then you of course get his replacement. And listen, Jaden Anthony is going to be an okay championship player, but he's no Luis Sinistera. And as much as people want to keep, trying to convince themselves that Jaden Anthony could be better than Sinistera, you're lying to yourselves or just trying to make yourselves feel better. Because Jaden Anthony was a throw-in in this deal. Let's not get it twisted. He was a throw-in. We had already gone to a few clubs that wanted Luis Sinistera, but at those clubs, and this is official stuff, there's no other players that wanted to come to Leeds United, so we had to rule out those clubs. Bournemouth, on the other hand, said, you know what, let's have a look around. I tell you what, we'll give you a Jaden Anthony. Now, Jaden Anthony has obviously heard this while he's at the hotel preparing for the Brentford game and said, excuse me, what? I've played 3 Premier League games so far, and you're just going to throw me out like that? But that's the cold nature of football. That is the cold nature of football. So we got a throw-in for Luis Sinistera, and for me, that's not good planning. And look, if you want to believe that Leeds United were looking at Jaden Anthony from the start of the window, that's cute. It's cute, but it was a case of leaving with something, as I've said before. It was a case of Leeds United saying, look, we can't just let Luis Sinistera leave without having a replacement player. But you know what they could have done? You know what else they could have done though if we was offered a player? Why not try and just get a left back? Why not get a left back as an option instead of yet another winger? Because when you look at Jane Anthony, does he get in ahead of Nanto? He doesn't. Does he get in ahead of Somerville? He does not. Rutter is going to be used here. Daniel Farker likes Rutter, so he will always be used as the 9/10. And I don't think he gets ahead of Dan James after the way Dan James was shipped out on loan last season. He would have had conversations this summer saying, what is my role in this team this year? There's no way Dan James is going to be pushed aside for Jaden Anthony, who's just here on loan. So what we've got to hope with Jaden Anthony is that he's a serviceable player who comes in and feels the need when we need him. But he's not going to be an X factor like Luis Sinistera. I mean, and this is the other thing. I mean, this is where the bar's on the floor. Jack here saying if Anthony stays or fit all season, then I consider it a win. These are things that I keep reading about him. Oh, does he stay fit? Has he got injury history? The bar's on the floor. Like he could literally be fit for all the rest of the 40 plus games of the season, and he could score 5 goals and have 3 assists. Is that good enough for you? Just or is it just the fact that he stays fit? The fact is, and I've said it before with Luis Sinistera, he could be fit for 20, 25 games. He's going to give you double digits in his time playing. That's the X factor you've got. So that's the other kicker in terms of Luis Sinistera going. We lost the best player in the league, and it was out on loan on the final day. And that left a sour note for me. Absolutely a sour note. Yeah, exactly. It's like losing 100 and finding a penny. Yeah, but the bar is so low when it comes to some fans, and it's not to dig out Jack who made that comment, but that's basic stuff. Is he going to be fit rather than Sinistero, who's got a bit of a checkered injury history? It's poor. It's a poor reasoning for wanting a player. We can sign a League Two player that will be fit for 46 games. Does that mean he should be playing for Leeds United? No, it doesn't. But yes, look, of the outgoings there, we've seen them mostly loans, difficult situation on many of them, especially the Luis Sinister at the end of the window, which was a kicker. But the one thing is that we don't see on those outgoings is Willie Nonto, which is great, Somerville, which is excellent because I think Somerville will cook in this league once he gets a run of games going. And I think that was very important that we kept those two in particular. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, I can't put that up there, but yeah, so there you go. We haven't seen Nanto in the outgoings list, which is great, and of course Somerville, which is awesome. But now, okay, listen, let's go to the good stuff. Okay, let's go to the incomings. I'm not going to count Lewis Perry or Josh McDonald as there for the academy, and let's hope they develop well. But I'm not going to count those. So here we are. Look at our incomings is so short; it fits on basically one page. It fits on one page. But look, we got Ethan Ampadu in the building, which is awesome. 7 million rising to 10 after add-ons. Brilliant signing. Absolutely excellent at this level. He should still be in the Premier League. Top signing. Top sign at this level. Um, and for the price as well, by the way, that kind of factors into it. That's awesome, especially as it's from Chelsea, who are rivals with us. um it's a brilliant price, and I'm surprised that Premier League teams didn't look at him. I think some lower end Premier League teams could have done with Ethan Ampadu. We then have to wait 10 days for the Carl Darlow deal to get done, and this one for me dragged out far too long, far too long. But yeah, we got him 400,000 from Newcastle. And again, I'm going to say this, much like last season in my transfer window rating, it's the same for this year for me. There's outgoings that should have been there too in that list, and they're not there, and they should have been. But I'm going to get into that at the end, and we'll talk about that. That goes into my rating too. So Carl Darlow's in the building. Then we signed Sam Byram after a decent pre-season, but there was always going to be risk attached to that. And it is risk free. It's a year deal, okay. But with Sam Byram, he's being seen as one of the left back options by Daniel Farker, who said that himself in the press conference. That's an issue because we know of Sam Byram's injury history. It's not like he was going to sign here and all of a sudden he gets magically healed. He's out injured again, and as Daniel Farker says, we hope he's ready after the transfer window's done, after the international break. Sorry. Then we get Joe Rodon in, which is a brilliant signing, absolutely brilliant at this level. Top championship defender. Very happy with that one. Season-long loan from Spurs. Unlucky not to be in the Prem still. He just like with Jed Spence, he jumped too far in terms of going to a club that was possibly too big for him. Should have probably gone to a lower end Premier League team, but absolutely delighted with Joe Rodon coming in. Then, of course, you got the big guy, Joel Perot, who is a striker, by the way. The striker that I hope to see after the international break in the box, please. In the box, please. Joe Perot, I don't want to see you at the center circle no more. In the box, Joe Perot, proven championship striker, brilliant goal involvement record, top signing, 10.5, rising to 16 with add-ons. Hopefully, we pay that 16 because it would mean we've achieved promotion. Excellent signing, 24 years old, got a big future ahead of him. And I think this was probably, is it my second favorite of the win? Yeah, it's probably my second favorite because Jed Spence is my first. I got my own reasons, man, but Jed Spence is my first. But yeah, Joel Perot, we had competition from other championship teams and possibly Premier League, and we got it done. And we got it done pretty quickly from the time the bid went in and the medical was completed. So cool. Jed Spence, this is my number one. And I think you saw just in the brief cameo he had against who do you play? Sheffield Wednesday, that once he's fully fit and raring to go, our dimension on that right hand side has improved tenfold, absolutely tenfold on that side. Even when we got caught on the counter attack and he made that recovery run, you can speculate all we want, but Luke Ayling would not have got back for that. That is what you're going to get with Jed Spence, and the ball is stuck to his feet when he's running forward. Excellent signing. Again, unlucky not to be in the Prem, especially when I see some of the other right backs at Premier League level, by the way, people. So yeah, Jed Spence, top sign at this level. Unbelievable. I'm glad, and I'm glad everyone's feeling it too. I'm glad everyone's feeling it, man. Um, but then, okay, Ilya Gruev, I don't know anything about him, and I put that straight out there. I'm trusting Daniel Farker and the recruitment team that hopefully he will be the ball winner that they envision him to be. Should be a solid sign at this level. Gives us another option there. Give poor Archie a rest. You could tell yesterday he kind of needed a rest, and he's been subsequently pulled from the England under 19s team just to make him fresh. Because you could see in the Wednesday game he was getting tired, especially towards the end of the game. Glenn Kamara, brilliant signing, good signing at this level. Easily a good sign in terms of needed a new challenge from Rangers. Obviously, was out of the plans there. Needed a fresh start. 27 years old, got a great engine on him. Will hopefully be someone that will shoot from outside the box. That would be nice once in a while. But yeah, that's a good signing. And then, of course, we've already discussed Jaden Anthony, who came in as part of the Sinistera deal. So we've done business there, but what we haven't got there, people, and it's glaringly obvious, and I think you know where I'm going to go with this. There's no left back, and in my rating, you don't get points for trying or attempting to. So even though we went for Luke Thomas and Ryan Manning, that's cute, but we didn't get him. It's about your completed action, and the fact that we've gone again with no left back for me is a huge red flag. We saw it again yesterday. As good as Shackleton was down that side, and he was, it's not fluid, and it gives the teams a chance to get back into position. Whereas that right footer is always going to check back in and pass into midfield or delegate to Nanto. He's not making an overlapping run because he can't cross with his left foot. That's a major flaw for me. And the fact that we heard from Daniel Farker that Junior Firpo and Sam Byram are going to be our left back options, and he's happy with that. That's a worry because we heard this just a year before when Firpo was out injured also at that time as well. And we heard from Jesse Marsh that Pascal Struijk was going to be our left back. It's like, please, you've got to learn the lessons of past failures. And for me, that's a glaring, obvious error. It's not going to hinder us in every single game we play. Of course, it's not. But you can see already through the patterns this season, it is a hindrance that we don't have a left back there. Now, Firpo could work in this league. He could. But the evidence so far, people, the evidence so far says that apart from 1 month, and he was good for the month, don't take it away from him. He was legitimately good defensively and going forward for 1 month. But that's 1 month out of a whole spell here. He hasn't been good. Will the championship suit him more? We'll find out. And we will find out because Danny Farker will utilize him at left back once he's available from injury. But to bank on that again, it's negligent for me. It is. Yeah, square peg. Sorry, yeah, it's gone up there, but square pegs again, and we saw it yesterday. Daniel Farker, he did it. He did it when he brought on Cody Drama as a left back, when Drama is nowhere near a left back. So Farker, as much as he's getting right off the pitch, especially on the pitch, he needs to just keep it simple. Really and truly does need to keep it simple. Ash saying, I'm sure Farker isn't happy about it, but you can't come out publicly and say, well, this sucks. Yeah, I'm aware of that. You know, I'm a smart man, Ash, and I'm sure everyone else is smart enough to know that. But the fact that that's been said, you know, you don't have to say that though. You don't have to come out and say you're happy with your fullbacks. You can say that, well, we've got Furpo to come back and Sam Byron can play there too, and leave it there. That's it. You don't have to say anything else. You don't have to then add on, I'm happy with that. Okay, so you can word it so to where you don't throw people under the bus, but then also just say, yeah, it's not quite enough. Um, Ed, respect for Carlos. I wish he was. But look, if Firpo can come back and give us a serviceable left back, cool. But the evidence isn't there so far. But I hope he proves me and a lot of people wrong. And just it's just the whole signing left back thing being so, why does this club make it so difficult? I don't get it. And you can imagine in January, if we do finally get one, the social media team and everyone else is going to have a nice little laugh and probably collate everyone sign a left back tweets or X's, I should say, posts, and then sign a left back and say he's here. And it's like, all right, man, but it's a couple of years too late. You know, one of those. It's like, can we have done it sooner? And also, as well, we got to say, as we saw yet again, rinse and repeat, and as we've seen in so many games so far this season, the lack of 10. And we're going to come up this season against two solid blocks so many times this season. It's not even going to be funny. We could have done with an actual 10 there that has got the abilities to unlock that kind of deep block. And we didn't do that. We tried, but you don't get points for trying. You must get them through the door. Um, and Matt here saying, let's judge Firpo when he's played at championship level. Yeah, that's what I will do, Matt. But I'm going by the current evidence of what we've seen so far, and that's all I can do. You know, we don't know how he's going to play here. He hasn't played yet because he's doing the other thing that he usually does, and that he's currently injured. So again, that's another mark. Jed here saying Rodrigo proved us wrong last season. Possibly a Firpo redemption arc can come in. I hope so, Jed. Listen, it makes no sense to hope that he does wrong or want to be proved right that he's going to stink up the joint. No, it's in everyone's benefit, including Daniel Farker's, that this all works out. It's in everyone's benefit, including the club, which is the most important, by the way. The most important thing is that it works for Leeds United. And that's what we've got to hope for now because we didn't get one in. On another one, in terms of our marking, I said the same last season, and it certainly rings true again this year in 23-24. The fact that we've still got at this football club Liam Cooper and Luke Ayling as our captain and vice captain is appalling to say. You know, if they were still here in an ambassador capacity or stadium tour guides or something like that, I can accept it. But the fact that in my lifetime I've seen real captains and people older than me have seen captains that have lifted league titles and FA Cups and everything else like that. The fact that we're still talking in 23-24 under new ownership that we've still got those guys as captains and playing as first team players is a bit, it stinks for me. It stinks because we should have done this in the Prem and we're still carrying on in the Champ. So you automatically get marked down for that. And Patrick Bamford too. And listen, people say Patrick Bamford's injured, Cooper's injured. They weren't injured the whole summer. You know, Bamford got injured in a game, and we could have tried to remove him before. And even if we did try, we didn't. Okay, so he's still here. There's just players here that have got no business being at Leeds United. And look, people probably think I'm being harsh there, but we give them the credit for the promotion and us getting promoted, and they deserve all of that. But the last couple of years have been a disaster. They've been a disaster, and it's been under their leadership. What the hell happened at Crystal Palace? What happened after we concede a goal and capitulate over half time and lose that game so heavily? And then from the rest of the season, just stink up the joint. That's under that leadership, and it should be changed. But we've still got the same captains. And Jack, yeah, Ayling and Cooper rubbish CFC. It's embarrassing. Cooper can probably play a part at this level, but we're talking about patterns again, aren't we? And what is Cooper right now? He's injured. So and that's the other thing. It's all well and good him saying, if you don't want to be here, get lost. How about you stay healthy? You scored a brilliant header and got injured in the process, but you want to judge other people who have got options. So that's where it leaves a bitter taste for me. And as long as, and I'll just make it clear, as long as Ailing, Bamford, and Cooper are here, that will always make sure that these windows are never a 10. But I just get the feeling, and I've said it before, that we're going to be with these players until they're like 45 years old. I just don't see them ever leaving. I feel like they're always going to be here. Um, Bobs is saying the way they've performed the last few years wiped away the promotion hero status for me. It's not the same for everyone, Bobs, but a lot of people have come around to that. I have seen that the sport isn't so strong for a guy like Luke Ayling anymore. I think people can finally, it took them long enough, but they finally see the deficiencies in his game. But it's that old saying, the one I always get wrong, people. It's the one I always get wrong. It's better to die a hero than live long enough to be the villain. I think I may have got it there. That was close enough. Close enough. Okay. Um, and Diggler here, I would hope Strauch would have gone. He always seems nervy to me. And that's another one. And I'm throwing Melier in there too. Because over the last couple of years, the defense has been woeful, and please don't let that fact go away. But Melier has been a big part of that over the last 18 months. He has. And just the fact that we haven't gutted it all out, it it's a minus for me. It is a minus that we haven't got a new set of goalkeepers together, got rid of the defense, gotten some real men back there. We have in Joe Rodon, we've got Charlie Creswell back, which is a plus. But yeah, I feel like we could have done a little bit more. And maybe we can't get rid of Melier now because his value's so low. The interest wasn't there, as we know. But if you want to sell a player enough, you can find a buyer for him. But yeah, that puts a little mark down. It's up to these players for me, and I can only speak for myself as I always do. It's up for me. It's up to those players to now prove it that they can perform again, because we've been a losing football club for 2 years. We've been a losing club for 2 years. We've won, I think, with the Ipswich game, we've won 12 games since Bielsa left. That's appalling. So now we're hoping and banking on these guys to get rid of that losing feeling, getting a mentality where they can win 2-3 games on the bounce. So listen, we'll talk about what we see for the rest of the season in another video. This is for the window completely. So we're talking about just mentalities of the players left. But they've been losing for 2 years, and that's just the worry that I have with a few of them. I'm hoping that they can consistently prove me wrong. Melier was good against Sheffield Wednesday yesterday, but also saying that, he was a bit shaky against Ipswich. So that's kind of what we get with Elan at this point in his career, where he should have shone. He should be levels ahead, but like so many, they kind of regressed. And yeah, I mean, listen, you've got two opinions here. SJ saying Pascal always looks like he's one mistake away from a nervous breakdown. Then you've got Mr. Ripper saying Pascal doing well. That's what I'm talking about. There's no general consensus that these players are good or they're bad. People are seeing bits and pieces, and inconsistencies at this level where we're trying to get promotion isn't it. So yeah, Jack. It's like with Newcastle. Yes, they made good signings, but also the whole mentality around the club got changed in the squad, in the back room, and that's what you're hoping that these players here in this picture, like Glenn Kamara, Jed Spence, Joe Roden, and Joel Perot. You will hope that these guys will give us the injection we need to those players that have been losing for 2 years, much like Newcastle. Because listen, Newcastle have still got Almira, they've still got Longstaff. They've still got other players that were there when they were one of the worst teams in the league. But quality injection can help you. And that's what we've got to hope with these guys that they're going to do. Um, but yeah, you know what? Let me just NFT just saying there's no creativity in the side. That's the problem. Yeah, with Nanto and Somerville, that it's not so much that they're creative; it's just that they can drift past players. They're very direct, and they will create chances in that way. But the creative luck, and that's where 10 comes in, is where they can see a pass that no one else sees. It's a specialist. It's a specialist area. You get into a place where no one else can see the pass. They can break the lines, move defenders around, and we don't have that at this point in time. And that's been evident in the games we've played so far. Let me just get the super chats in, and then we'll give our ratings. How does that sound, people? So Tony Stellafella saying Jed Spence tax. DJ, okay, yep. Thank you for that, for the super chat, man. And William Morrison put this in very early. Shout out to William. A solid window. I give it a 7 out of 10. Losing City is just part of the game. Love the badge. Not any player is bigger than that. Here. So yeah, listen, people. My rating overall, and with everything that I've said, that was factors. in terms of the difficulty navigating the relegation loan clauses, but then also saying that we're in the driver's seat and then losing Sinister on the last day, not getting a left back, not getting a 10, but getting to keep Nanto Somerville, which are pluses, not getting rid of certain other players that I feel need to leave this football club. I was teetering on a 5.5, but I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm comfortable giving it a 6 out of 10. Please give me your views here. Richard is saying a 5.5 at best. Yeah. Um Damar saying a 6 as well. Matt saying 6.5. Tanya saying 6 out of 10 because we didn't get a left back or a cam and lost Cine. Yeah. Um, Bobs is saying he had it on a 7 out of 10 going into the last day, hoping we get a left back and a 10, but not getting either. And City dropped it to a 5. I hear that. Ripper saying it's an 8, now it's a 6. I think Ian Ward's trolling there. You better be. Um, NFT saying 6 out of 10. Agree with you. Needed a left back and a cam. Oh, 4. Yo, Maz is going straight in there. 4. No, no, there's no if we lost Cine or didn't lose Cine. I need it for what it is right now, people. Come on, play by the rules. This is a sore game. Play by the rules. Karen here saying 7 out of 10. Key players still needed. BPCY saying 4 out of 10. No cam, centre back, left back, no additional striker. Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about no lack of centre back as well. Addition. I didn't really feel it was that important, but I know it is for a lot of people, so that's fair. Diggler saying 7 out of 10 because they did well under the circumstances. Yeah. 6. Phil is saying 6.5, but what can you expect when you've just been relegated? Yeah. 8. Ian Ward is saying 8. You try working with Orta's contracts. Anto is saying 6 out of 10. And Ash is saying 6 without a left back, and Cam's all the loans and no money. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Ed, you know what, Ed, you can get lost, man. Ignore Ed, man. He's good people's, man. He's good people's. And yeah, Nick G saying 7 out of 10. I still think this team now would beat Leeds in 22-23. Possibly, man. Possibly. But yeah, listen, people, and like I said, everyone's rating will be different. If you feel it's ridiculous or harsh and you put it in the comments, you probably will be removed because it just means you're not respecting people's opinions or think that your opinion is just so great. It's not. I promise you, we're all just fans here and we all have our different criteria of rating it. And that would be mine. I've explained it in full. So listen, people. Ed's cool people, Bubs. He is a Man United fan, but he's not a trolling type. Listen, I got rid of the other one. I thought the other one was a bit of a troll, but then he took it too far. He mentioned a team name, which is just trying to stir controversy. So, yeah. I'm all for banter though, man. I love good banter. It's all good. Robert is asking, do you think I think Jaden Anthony could do a job at left back? Whoa, no, no, thank you. he's a winger. He's a winger. We'll keep him there. But yeah, listen, people, I'm going to end it there. I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything else anyone else wants to say in regards to the window? And then we can move on. Look, I'm going to have a few days. It's been a real grind this week, as you can imagine. And listen, shout out to every content creator that's been doing work over the last week. It's been a grind, especially the last few days of the window where there was nearly up to 3-4 videos a day. Absolutely just draining, especially when it's not all great news. So I'm going to take a few days to just decompress, relax, and then we'll come back with another video in terms of another subject. We'll say. Ash, yeah, I mean, Ash, this is another thing that goes into my rating, and thank you for bringing it up. Could we have got more loans in? It couldn't have been hard to get a left back on loan. Couldn't have been that hard. Maybe you're looking at a bit more difficulties in getting an attacking midfielder on loan, possibly, just by nature of the position. But left back, it's easily done. We just make it look like it's the hardest job in the world to get a left back in. So yeah, that's another reason why my rating is at a 6. I don't think we utilize the loan market enough. You know, Jed Spence and John Roden, excellent, but we could have gotten somebody else. Um So yeah, listen, people, I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your comments, ratings in the comments below. Much appreciated for everyone for sticking with me today. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in a few days, people. Like the video, please like the video. It is the best way to support the channel. Just helps more visibility with the channel as well and the videos. So if you could do that for me, that would be brilliant. So listen, people, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.